So this is a little test video. I'm trying some equipment out at school, and I want to show how to do the 3-view drawing for those of you who weren't here for that. It's a pretty simple drawing. It's actually the same part as the isometric drawing, the angled drawing that we did, the 3D drawing. So there's a difference between 3D and 3-view. 3-view shows an object 3 ways. It shows it from the top, from the side, and from the end. Or you might say top, side, bottom. Different ways of calling that out. So for this lesson, hang on a minute, we're going to use regular graph paper, 1/4-inch graph paper, like you might use in math class. And I'm going to work down here, and I've got this camera set up so I can tip it. So this is going to be a little funny looking for a minute, but let me tip this. All right, and I'm going to bring it down so hopefully you can see this okay. I'm going to go turn the light off for a minute, so I'm going to pause this, and I think it'll be better with one light. All right, well, let's try this. So what I would like to do is to draw, first I'm going to count up 6 lines on the bottom. And I'm just going to make a little mark, and I'm going to count over 8. So there you go. That's going to show my bottom line, and I'm going to do this in pencil first. Just going to take a pencil, and I'm very lightly going to draw a line, and I'm staying on the grid here. So I'm using the grid lines here. So I'm just going to lightly draw a line on there so I know where that is. Notice that when I use my pencil, I hold my wrist straight. If you move your wrist, you're going to come off the line. And now I'm going to go with my vertical line. So I mark this over 8 squares over, and I'm lining my ruler up with that. And there you go. This is going to be what we could call the point of origin for our drawing. So the object that we're drawing is 2 inches wide. And if you put your ruler on, you'll notice because it's a 1/4 of an inch graph paper, it lines up with this 2-inch mark here. And I'm going to draw that line up as well. I'm going to draw the whole line lightly. So the cube is 3 inches tall. So I'm going to go up 3 inches and make a mark. 3 inches up. And I'm going to take my ruler and lightly draw that line all the way across. And what I want to do is have some space between my drawings. So I want to have, I'm going to put an inch between my drawings. So I'm going to go up 1 more inch, an inch from here to here, or 4 squares. And I'm going to draw that here, and it's just going to be a short line because it's only for this top piece. And over here I want to have it an inch between these 2 drawings, so I'm going to measure over 4 squares, or 1 inch on my ruler, and I'm going to draw another line here. I realize I'm going a little fast here. I'm just going to draw that line right there. I'm going a little bit fast, but I'm going to go over this twice, and you can stop this and watch it again if you want. So this shape that we're drawing is 2 inches this way, and it's also going to be 2 inches this way. So that would be 8 lines over, and I would draw another line up. Oh, my ruler moved a little bit. Happens to me too. So there we go. Now, if you think about it, if this side's 2 inches here, and this side is 2 inches, then this one's going to be 2. So I'm going to go up 8, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm going to draw another line here. All right. So now I've laid out my whole drawing, and what I'm going to do, you don't have to do this, but what I'm going to do is use a pen now to outline the shapes and show you what I'm talking about. I hope this makes sense. All right, and the quickest way to do this is not move your ruler more than you have to. So I'm going to go like this, and like this. And like that. Like that. All right. Now, if I take my ruler on the bottom, I can go like this, and like this, and slide it up, and go like this. Oh, my pen didn't work too good. And like this. And then I've got this and this. All right, there's my 3 drawings. So if this was, it's not actually 2 inches by 2 inches by 3, but if it was, it would be like this. Now what's important is that they line up this way, and this lines up this way. Last thing to do, and I'm going to sketch this just to make it easy, but when you do the sketching on this drawing, if you're just not using a ruler, I want you to use the lines on the graph paper to make it neat. So we need to tell the viewer, the person looking at this drawing, how big it is. So it's 2 inches this way, and inches is quotation marks, and feet is apostrophe. And we're going to do an arrow here and an arrow here. The arrows touch these 2 lines. These lines are called extension lines, and they're showing this point and this point. They don't touch the object. We also need to know this width here, and it is 2 inches. If you use the graph lines, you can usually get a pretty straight line there. Notice that the number is inside the dimension line. This is the dimension line, and this is the extension line. Now we need to know how tall the cube is. So we're going to go 3 inches here. And once again, it's important that these line up. They can't be up here or down here. They need to line up. Line up, everybody line up. All right. Now you have all the information that you need to show somebody this drawing. You could label it side, and you could label it, or top, end. All right. Last thing I'm going to ask you to do is to use your ruler and do hatching. So hatching shows a surface. And in class I had everybody do that. I'm going to skip around my words here. And you notice what I'm doing is I'm using the graph to make this 45 degrees. So if I wanted to, I could show different surfaces by changing my line pattern. Have them closer together, farther apart, stuff like that. I could do 2 different directions, X them over. But it does make it easier to see the drawing when you have the hatching on it. And almost done here. Let's see if I screw this up. So when you're doing your dimensioning, the rule is you want as few dimensions on your drawing as possible. You only need to show everything once. And since this is a 3-view drawing, you can lay it out the way I have. You could do the dimensions a little different. You could move this dimension over here if you wanted. You could put this dimension over here, as long as you just did it once and you showed it. All right, so on the quiz that we're going to take, you need to know 3-view drawing. You need to be able to tell the difference between a 3-view and the isometric drawing, which looks like this. And we're also going to have a floor plan, but we haven't done that yet. And you need to know that these are extension lines and they don't touch. And these are dimension lines and they touch the extension lines. The number goes in the arrow. Somebody's calling me. And this is inches. And there you go.